ஆழ்வார் திருடிகளே சரணம், எம்பெருமானார் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஜீயர் திருடிகளே சரணம், ஆண்டாள் நாச்சியார் திருடிகளே சரணம், பெரியவாச்சான் பிள்ளை திருடிகளே சரணம். ஸ்ரீசைலேஷ தயாபாத்திரம் தீபக்தியாதி குணார்ணவம் யதீந்திர பிரவணம் வந்தே ரம்ய ஜாமாத்தரம் முனிம் ரம்ய ஜாமாத்திரி யோகீந்திர பாத ரேகாமயம் சதா ததா யத்தாத்ம சத்தாதிம் ராமானுஜ முனிமஜே லக்ஷ்மீநாத சமாரம்பாம் நாதே யாமுன மத்தியமாம் அஸ்மத் ஆச்சாரிய பரியந்தாம் வந்தே குரு பரம்பராம் யோ நித்யமச்சுத பதாம்புஜ யுக்மருக்ம व्यामोहत स्थितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य दैकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये मातापिता युवते स्तनयाभूतिः सर्वं यदेव नियमेन मदन्वयानाम् आद्यस्य न कुलपतेरुकुलाभिरामं श्रीमत्तदङ्घ्रियुगळं प्रणमामि मूर्ध्ना भूतं जलश्च महताह्वय भट्टनाथ श्रीभक्तिसारकुलशेखर योगिवाहान् भक्ताङ्घ्रिरेण प्रकाले यतीन्द्रमिश्रान् श्रीमत्पराङ्कुशमुनिं प्रणतोऽस्मि नित्यम्. Dhivyaprabandham series of lectures. We have been going through the meanings for Dhivyaprabandha Pasurams for the last few months. By the grace of Periyalvar, we have completed Periyalvar Thirumozhi's meanings. We have been enjoying the meanings for Periyalvar Thirumozhi in a very brief manner. And after that, next Prabandham in Mudalayiram, in the first 1000, is Thirupavai. But since we have already explained Thirupavai in English, we are now moving on to nAchchiyAr Thirumozhi. nAchchiyAr Thirumozhi is a beautiful composition by Andal nAchchiyAr. Andal nAchchiyAr is an incarnation of Sri Bhumi Pirati, Sri Bhumi Devi. Bhagavan Sriman Narayana has three primary consorts: Sri Mahalakshmi, Sri Bhumi Pirati, and Sri Neela Devi. These are the three primary consorts of Sriman Narayana. And subsequently, we do see that he has many divine consorts in Parampadam. But the primary consorts, Patta Mahishi, is Sri Mahalakshmi and Sri Bhumi Devi and Neela Devi. Among these, Bhumi Pirati is the embodiment of Bhagavan's Karuna, Karunyam, the quality of compassion and mercy has taken a form, and that is Sri Bhumi Devi. This Bhumi Pirati incarnated as Andal nAchchiyAr in this world as the daughter, divine daughter of Periyalvar, Vishnu Chitta swAmy, and she composed two beautiful prabandhams. First one is Thirupavai, the second one is nAchchiyAr Thirumozhi. Both of these were composed when she was only 5 years old. She had such matured knowledge and devotion towards Bhagavan that even from the time of her birth, she was constantly thinking about Bhagavan Sriman Narayana only. And moreover, first, she is Bhumi Pirati's incarnation, so she has natural love and affection towards Bhagavan as his divine consort. And further, since she was raised by Periyalvar, Vishnu Chitta swAmy, Patrabiran, she was fed with Krishna Bhakti, great devotion towards Bhagavan, Krishna. And because of that, her love and affection towards Bhagavan has no limits. Manavala Mamnigal, in his Upadesha Ratinamalai, brings out the greatness of Andal nAchchiyAr. அஞ்சுகுடிக்கொரு சந்ததியாய் ஆழ்வார்கள் தம் செயலை விஞ்சி நிற்கும் தன்மையளாய் பிஞ்சாய் பழுத்தாளை ஆண்டாளை பத்தியுடன் நாளும் வழுத்தாய் மனமே மகிழ்ந்து. So in this Pasuram, Manavada Mamigal enjoys Andal nAchchiyar's greatness. Anjugudikur Sandadiyai. She is the single descendant of all the Alvars. Alvars are here said to be Anjukudi. Anjukudi means two meanings. One is Anjukudi means the clan which is always fearful. They are always fearful for Bhagavan's safety, well-being and so on. They are Mangala Shasana Paras. So they are known as Anjukudi, the fearing clan, the one clan which always has fear for Bhagavan's safety and well-being. What is going to happen to Bhagavan? He is in this material world, in Archa form, whether he is going to be safe. Bhagavan is supreme, he is all capable. Still, Alvas fear for them. So that is why they are known as Anjukudi. And it is also said to be 5 clans. There is Alvars have a variety of clans in them. First, there is Ionijas, Mudal Alvargal. First 3 Alvars, Poigai Alvar, Bhudat Alvar, Pei Alvar. All of these were born from flowers, not from a mother's womb. So they are one group. Even Thirumozhi Alvar can be joined in that group because though he is born from a Rishi's Patni's womb, he did not have a proper shape when he was born. He was born like a lump of flesh. And then by the grace of Bhagavan and Pirati, he got a beautiful form. And then he lived for a long time. So he can also be said as Ionijas to some extent. Ionija means one who is not born from mother's womb because he was having a second birth. First he was born like a flesh and then he subsequently got a proper human form. He can also be taken into same as Mudal Alvar, first 3 Alvars, their group. And then there is Brahmana Alvars, that is Alvars who are born in Brahmana clan. Periyalvar, Vishnujita Swami and Tondadipudi Alvar. And then there is Alvars who are born in Kshatriya clan. This Kulashekara Alvar. Even Thirumangai Alvar to some extent, he was a king. Though he is not born in a Kshatriya family, he is still a ruler of some sort, like a chieftain. And then there is Madhurakavi Alvar, who is also a Brahmana. He is born in a Brahmana family. And then Kulashekara Alvar in Kshatriya family. And then there is Tirupan Alvar, who is born in a potter family or a singer family. They are not part of the 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. So he is separate from that. So it is said in Amalnadipiran commentary that Alvar himself considers himself to be outside the 4 Varnas. That is, he is even not even qualified to be a Vaidika, but still he was divinely blessed by Bhagavan. And Bhagavan also considers him to be outside 4 Varnas. That means Bhagavan considers him to be as good as a Nityasuri, because Nityasuris also don't fall into this 4 Varna category. So that is one separate category. And then Nammalvar, he is born in 4th Varna. So in this manner, there are 5 different groups in Alvars. But we consider all Alvars to be great devotees of Bhagavan. Not just we, our Acharyas have shown that Alvars are all great devotees of Bhagavan, and we don't really discriminate based on their birth. Still, we understand that they come from these different clans. So here Anjukudi can also mean these 5 different clans where the Alvars are spread across. Still, all the Alvars are considered to be equal and great, and they are considered to be great devotees of Bhagavan, and they are completely worshipable by us. So Anjukudikku or Sandadiyai, in whichever way we look at, Andal Nachar is a single descendant of all of the Alvars. And she also has greatness more than all the Alvars put together. All the Alvars' contribution is one level. Andal Nachar's contribution is another level, greater level. And she is having ripened devotion even at a very young age. 5 years old, she sang Tirupavai. She sang nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi. Such Andal should be always worshipped joyfully, says Manavada Mamnigal to his own heart. There is also another pasaram. Inno Tiruvadipuram emakkavanno ingu Andal avadharittal. Kunnada Valvana Vaikunda Vanbogandanne igazhந்து ஆழ்வார் திருமகளாராய். This is Tiruvadipuram when Andal took birth in this world. What did she do? She gave up the comforts of Vaikuntham to be with Bhagavan, to enjoy there with Bhagavan. Instead, she chose to take birth in this samsara. For whom? For us only. That is what Manavada Mamnigal feels. He feels that Andal's incarnation, birth in this world, is purely for all of us, to uplift all of us. So in this manner, Andal Nachchiyar is greatly glorified. She is completely devoted to Bhagavan, even from the time of birth. And even when Bhagavan was residing in Srivilliputturu as Vatapatra Shahi, he greatly accepted, with great love, he accepted the garlands which were worn by Andal Nachchiyar first. Periyalvar was doing Pushpa Kainkaryam, garland Kainkaryam. He would go to the garden, pluck the flowers, Tiruthurai, Tulasi, and then he will make a garland, and he will come and keep it at his home, do some of his chores, and then take the garland and submit it to Bhagavan. But when the garland was placed in his home, Andal Nachchiyar would go and take that garland. She will wear it on her body, divine body, and then enjoy that, and then she will keep it back. And Bhagavan was enjoying that garland which was worn by Andal Nachchiyar. Usually, as devotees, we have to wear garland which was worn by Bhagavan. Uduthu kalendani பீதகவாடை உடுத்து கலத்ததுண்டு தொடுத்த துழாய் மலர் சுடு நின் தொண்டர்களும். So there it is said that Tiruthurai must be worn by Bhagavan, and then we subsequently can wear it as his prasadam. But here Bhagavan himself is taking the prasadam of Andal Nachchiyar. Whatever she has worn, he takes that and he wears it, enjoying in a joyful manner. And Periyalvar did not know all of this. But one day he finds out, and he is very angry at Andal Nachchiyar that she is wearing the garland before Bhagavan wears it. So that day he did not go and submit the garland, because she found out that Andal Nachchiyar was wearing it first. And Bhagavan became very upset. He said, that is the garland which I like most. I don't want fresh garland. I want the garland which was worn by Andal Nachchiyar. So Andal Nachchiyar is very, very dear to Bhagavan Sriman Narayana. And Andal Nachchiyar declared that she will not marry any human being. Mandavar kenni pechupadil vazhagillen kandai manmadane, she says in nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi. We are going to see that pasaram also. So she says, she declares, if anyone speaks that Andal will marry any human being, then I will not live from that moment. Even I don't have to hear those words. Even if just they were spoken somewhere else, I will not be able to tolerate that, says Andal Nachchiyar. So such is her devotion towards Bhagavan at a very young age. In Tirupavai, the first Prabandham, she declares that Bhagavan is Upayam Bhagavan is Upayam. In the north, when we go, we say, Siyaram hi Upaya, Siyaram hi Upaya. That is Sitaram, Bhagavan Sriman Sri Rama is the means and he is the goal. We usually hear this in the north. That is based on Bhagavan being Upayam and Bhagavan being Upayam. The concept is from our Sri Vaishnava Sampradayam, our Vishishtadvaita Siddhantam, where it is emphasized that Bhagavan is the only means and Bhagavan is the goal as well. Means is the process which will make us get him. It is only by Bhagavan's mercy we can attain him, not by our own effort. Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Tirunama Sankirtanam. Many upayams are there as shown in Shastram. But for us, it is very easy to approach him and attain him through his mercy instead of any of these other upayams which are involving self-effort. When we are Sheshabhutas, totally dependent servitors, we cannot try on our own and reach Bhagavan. We have to depend on his mercy. So this concept, Bhagavan is Upayam and Bhagavan is Upayam, is beautifully explained by Andal nAchchiyAr in Tirupavai. In the final two passages towards the end, Chitranjirihale Vandunne Chevithu and Karavaigal Pinchendru Kanam Sendunbom. In these two passages, in the Karavaigal Pinchendru, it is explained that Bhagavan is the Upayam. We don't have any other means to attain you. And in Chitranjirihale, it is explained that our goal is to serve Bhagavan only, nothing else. So she finally declares these in clear terms in Tirupavai in the last couple of pasurams. In the beginning itself, she says, Narayanane Namakke Paritharuvan. There it is explained, Narayanane, Bhagavan, Bhagavat Tattvam, Namakke, Jivatma Tattvam, Parai, goal, Kankaryam, Upeya Tattvam, and Taruvan, he will give. It is his mercy which makes us attain him. So that is the Upayam. Finally, Virodhi is understood here. That samsaram is the Virodhi, which is stopping us from reaching him. So in the beginning itself in Tirupavai, she declares Artha Panchakam. And finally, among the Artha Panchakam, Upayam and Upayam are most important. So she elaborates them and explains them clearly in Karavaigal Pinchendru Pasuram and Chittanjirihale Pasuram. Now, after doing that, Andal nAchchiyAr was waiting for Bhagavan to accept her immediately. But that did not happen because Bhagavan wanted Andal nAchchiyAr to remain here and guide all the Atmas with her Prabandhams. So, he did not come forward and accept Andal nAchchiyAr at that time. Andal became very distressed. So, what she does is when one becomes very distressed in separation, let's say there is a man and woman who love each other in a very great manner. When they are separated, the woman will try to reach her man as quick as possible, in whatever way possible. She will try the normal ways, but if that is not succeeding, she will even do very contrary efforts, those efforts which does not suit a subservient person. So similarly, here Andal nAchchiyAr is totally dependent on Bhagavan, yet she is going and falling at the feet of Kamadeva. That is the first Padigam itself. Tayyori Tingalum. That first Padigam itself, Andal nAchchiyAr is going and falling at the feet of Kamadeva, Manmata, asking him to help her reach Bhagavan, because usually Manmata is the one who is Cupid. He creates love between two persons, man and woman, and makes them unite. That is his job. Understanding this, Andal nAchchiyAr goes and surrenders to Manmata and asks his help to make her reach him. And then she does other upayams also, like she is doing Kudal, a particular game which will highlight and help a person reach her man. So she is doing in this manner different upayams. That is because of overwhelming love. Without Bhagavan, she cannot stay even for a moment in this world. So because of that condition, that ultimate devotion she has towards Bhagavan, ultimate love she has towards Bhagavan, she falls at the feet of Manmata. So even though as Sri Vaishnavas, we should not be pursuing other upayams like Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam. All of these are considered as other upayams, and we should not be pursuing all of these upayams. We should only be surrendering to Bhagavan, matching our true nature of a servitor. We should totally surrender to Bhagavan and we should wait for his mercy only. That is the true nature of Jivatma. But due to confused state of suffering in separation, due to suffering in separation, and because of that, nAchchiyAr has attained this confused state, she is now trying to reach Bhagavan through Manmata. So this particular aspect of pursuing upayantarams, though it is contrary, because of her ultimate total surrender and not getting Bhagavan immediately, she is now bewildered and she is trying to reach Bhagavan. Now, will Bhagavan be happy if we pursue other upayams? Strictly, our acharyas say that we should not engage in Karma Yogam, Jnana Yogam, Bhakti Yogam, Nama Sankirtanam, Purushottama Vidya, Avatara Rahasya Jnanam, Dividesha Vasam. None of these should be performed as upayams to reach Bhagavan. We can engage in karma, we can engage in developing our knowledge, we can engage in developing our devotion, we can engage in Nama Sankirtanam, we can remain in Divideshams, but all of these must be done as Kainkaryam only. Kainkaryam is what? What is Kainkaryam? Kainkaryam means that which brings happiness in the face of Bhagavan. Bhagavad Kainkaryam means bringing joy in the face of happiness, in the face of Bhagavan, bringing happiness in the face of Bhagavan. So any of our activities, if they bring joy, then that becomes Kainkaryam. Let's say a devotee, he lives in a Divyadesham and goes to temple and worships Bhagavan, performs various tasks there related to temple, then Bhagavan will naturally be happy. He is a devotee of me and he is coming here, he is worshipping me, he is doing all the necessary tasks, so I am happy about it. Then that becomes Kainkaryam. We cook for Bhagavan, Bhagavan happily accepts it, that cooking task becomes Kainkaryam. So any task we do without any other expectation than pleasing Bhagavan, bringing satisfaction to Bhagavan's heart, that is Kainkaryam. So if we do Karma Yogam, if we do our karma, Nitya karma, Naimitika karma, without any expectation for any results, without the concept of I am the doer, without the thought that this is my task, if you do it with these understandings, then Bhagavan will be very happy and satisfied with us. Then that becomes Kainkaryam. So anything we do, we have to do it as Kainkaryam and not as Upayam. So this is what is shown by nAchchiyAr in her Prabandhams. So she is doing all of this as giving joy to Bhagavan. And why should she go to Manmata, not any other Devata? That is because Manmata is engaged in uniting lovers, man and woman. Because of that, nAchchiyAr thinks this Manmata will help me unite with Bhagavan. So that is the principle here. Also it is said Manmata is also a child of Bhagavan and Pirati only. So here mother, that is Bhumi Pirati, goes to her son and requests him to unite her with his own father, Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan and Pirati are the parents for every Atma. And specifically for Manmata, in Krishna Avataram, Manmata appears as Pradyumna. So there is direct father-son relationship. So here, mother goes to son Mother is Bhumi Pirati, Andal, and son is Manmata, who is Cupid, and mother is praying to son to unite with father. So it is how Acharyas explain this divine experience, divine anubhavam. So this is why under nAchchiyAr went to Manmata and requested his help. Now worshipping other devatas is even worse than upayantarams. It is said that we should not engage in upayantarams, but what about other devatas? Can we worship other devatas? Here under nAchchiyAr is worshipping Manmata. Why is she doing it? For that the answer is we cannot worship any other devata. Because we being Sri Vaishnavas, we have completely surrendered to Bhagavan. Those who are surrendered to Bhagavan have no business, no connection with any other devatas. We don't have to worship any other devatas. But why is she going and worshipping other devatas? That is because she is in a bewildered state. She wants to attain Bhagavan at some cost, at any cost. She doesn't care how she attains Bhagavan. So, because of that bewilderment, she is going and approaching Manmata. Now, we also have bewilderment, confusion in this world. But our bewilderment is based on materialistic things. But Andal nAchchiyAr's bewilderment is based on, confusion is based on Bhagavan's greatness. Because of seeing Bhagavan's greatness, Andal nAchchiyAr becomes confused. So this confusion, this bewilderment, based on Bhagavan's beauty, Bhagavan's greatness, that confusion is glorified in our sampradaya. We should become confused. If we look at Bhagavan, his beauty, we should become speechless. We should not even remember who we are. That is glorified. If we attain that stage, that is glorified. So that is why Andal nAchchiyAr's approach of Devatantaram, that is other Devata, that is Manmata, is not um, despised, but it is only glorified here because she is in that state. Without Bhagavan, she cannot live even for a moment. And also we see other Mangala Shasana Paras, like the Ayodhya Vasis. All the residents of Ayodhya will go and worship other devatas for the well-being of Sri Rama. Now Sri Rama is Supreme Lord himself, Bhagavan Vishnu himself. To protect Sri Rama, they will all go to other devatas, all the Ayodhya Vasis. They will worship all the devatas. Why? Ayodhya Vasis should be very knowledgeable because they are remaining close to Bhagavan Sri Rama and they are serving Bhagavan. So they should be fully knowledgeable. Why are they going and worshipping other devatas? Because they are in this bewildered state. They are now Mangala Shasana Paras. They want to perform Mangala Shasanam for Bhagavan. So she is going to other devatas. So this is all explained in the introduction section of nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi by Periyavachan Pillai. So another question arises here. Okay, we should not go to Devatantaram. Andal nAchchiyAr is going, but Andal nAchchiyAr is not an ordinary person. First of all, she is Bhumi Pirati, and then second, she is the daughter of Periyalvar, who is completely Paramasattvika, one who is having clear knowledge about Bhagavan and his Swarupam, Rupam, everything. So being daughter of Periyalvar, Paramasattvika, if she goes behind Manmata, a devata of Rajogunam, will it not be inapt? Will it not be a blame, accusation on Andal nAchchiyAr? For that, it is explained that even other alvars, when they are in bewildered state, they do things which are contradictory to their nature, true nature, which is servitude and dependence on Bhagavan. Normally, all the alvars will be totally dependent on Bhagavan only. But when they become very confused due to Bhagavan's beauty and being unable to bear his separation, then they will do things like this, worshipping other devatas, praying to other devatas, seeking their help. So this is done out of total bewilderment. We cannot compare this to our state because now we have Acharya's guidance. We cannot become totally bewildered like that. We have to be grounded and we have to be well realized. So we cannot do all these other devata worship because our acharyas have clearly eliminated that kind of attitude. But Andal nAchchiyAr, being in such bewildered state, when she does this, it is actually enjoyable for Bhagavan. He will look at Andal nAchchiyAr, he will say, oh, what kind of wonderful, amazing love she has towards me. She is doing everything she can to try and reach me. So, that is the reason why Andal nAchchiyAr's worshipping other devata like Manmata is glorified here, because it is dear to Bhagavan. Bhagavan himself becomes very happy if Andal does this. So it is fit for great personalities like Andal, Alvars to do this, because their goal is very clear. They are not going to be deviating from any of the principles. It is only for that moment they take shelter of these other devatas to reach Bhagavan. So this is a brief introduction for nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi, why Andal nAchchiyAr is pursuing different means other than Bhagavan, other than surrender. That is because she is in a bewildered state, but this bewildered state is greatly appreciated by Bhagavan himself. So that is the brief introduction to this dhivyaprabandham. We will see the detailed meanings of each padigam one at a time in the coming sessions. But before we conclude today, I also wanted to go through the meanings for thaniyans. See, each prabandham will have thaniyans. Thaniyan means separate shlokams. Thaniyan is a Tamil word. It means separate shlokam, individual pasuram. So here we have two separate pasurams glorifying Andal nAchchiyAr and her greatness. First one is composed by Thirukkannamangai Andan. Thirukkannamangai Andan is famous for giving up everything and surrendering to Bhagavan and remaining in the Thirukkannamangai Divadesham outer wall. He just lived there all through his remaining of his life. After realizing that he is totally surrendered to Bhagavan, he lived in the temple itself, in the outside wall, under the outside wall. So he composed this beautiful Thaniyan, Allinal Tamarai Mel or Anangin in Tunaivi. மல்லி நாடாண்ட மடமையில் மெல்லியலால் ஆயர் குலவேந்தன் ஆகத்தால் தென்புதுவை வேயர் பயந்த விளக்கு. Let us see the brief meanings for this Thaniyan. Andal nAchchiyAr is having very soft nature because she is the divine consort of Bhagavan and she is very tender in nature right from the beginning. She is very dear friend of Periviratiyar, Sri Mahalakshmi, who is residing permanently on the lotus flower, and this lotus flower is so fresh, always fresh. That is the abode of Periviratiyar, and Andal nAchchiyAr is a dear friend of Periviratiyar, and this Andal nAchchiyAr is looking like a beautiful peacock which has beautiful colors on it, and Andal nAchchiyAr is looking like that, and she rules over the country of Tirumalli. The Srivilliputturu Divadesham and its surrounding regions are known as Malli, Tirumalli. She complements the divine form of Bhagavan, Krishna, who is the king of cowherd clan, and she is radiant due to the fact that she is raised by Periyalvar. Periyalvar is, even though he raises her, he is considered also as the birth father. So, Janaka Pita. So, this Janaka Pita, that is father who gave birth to Andal nAchchiyAr, Periyalvar, he is the clan of Brahmanas in the beautiful Srivilliputturu Divadesham. And this Andal nAchchiyAr is radiant because of being daughter of Periyalvar, being divine consort of Bhagavan and all of that. That is the meaning for first Thaniyan. And then there is second Thaniyan. Kolachurisangai, Mayan Sevvayin Gunam Vinavum Seelathalal. Then Tirumalli Nadi, Shedungudal Mel, Malai Todai, then Arangarukku Iyum, Madipudaya Solaikadi. Aval Tuya Narpadam Tunai Namakke. Here, in this Thaniyan, phonetical Jiyar, first thOthAthri Jiyar, Vanamamalai Jiyar, beautifully praises the greatness of Andal nAchchiyAr. Kolachurisangai, the curved conch Andal nAchchiyAr, in nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi, she is asking Karpuram Narumo, Kamalappu Narumo, Panja Sanniyame. She is saying to Panchajanyal, the divine conch, she is saying, do you know if camphor smells better or Bhagavan's divine lips, they smell better? So that is Kolachurisangai. She is asking the curved conch. What is she asking about? The reddish mouth of Mayan, Krishna. The nature of that reddish mouth of Krishna is being asked by this Andal nAchchiyAr. She is having such good qualities. Ten Thirumalli Nadi, she is the leader of Ten Thirumalli, the beautiful Thirumalli region or south region. Shedungudal Mel, Malai Tadai Tennarangarikku Iyum. She wears the beautiful Tiruthurai Tulasi garland first and then she submits it to the Ranganatha Bhagavan, Vatapatrashayi Bhagavan, who is in Sri Villibuttur, and Madipudaya, she is having great honor. Solaikadi, she is like a very honorable parrot from the garden. Aval Tuya Narpadam Punai Namake, her beautiful lotus feet, that is the refuge for us, that is the help for us, says Ponadikal Jiyar, Vanamamalai Jiyar in this Thaniyan. Kolachurisangai Mayan செவ்வாயின் குணமிடமும் சீலத்தணல் தென் திருமல்லி நாடி செழுங்குழல் மேல் மாலை தொடை தென்னரங்கரிக்கையும் மதிப்புடைய சோலைக்கிளி அவள் தூய நற்பாதம் துணை நமக்கே. Her lotus feet, her pure divine feet, that is the refuge for us, that is the shelter for us, says Ponadikal Jiyar in this Thaniyan. So with this, the Thaniyan's explanation is also given. So we have seen the introduction section for nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi, and we have also seen the two Thaniyans along with their meanings. From next session, which will be on Tuesday, we will continue with the remaining portion of nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi. Each session we will try to cover one Padigam as we did in Periyalvar Tirumozhi. So we will continue with that in the subsequent sessions. Andal nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi Sharanam, Alvar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Emberumanar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Jiyar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Jiyar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Periyavachan Pillai Tirumozhi Sharanam. We are using Periyavachan Pillai's commentary for this nAchchiyAr Tirumozhi, along with Puttur swAmy's brief explanation and elaborate Tamil explanation. We are using that, and I will be translating on the fly the meanings of the pasurams and rendering them. So we will continue on with this for the next little while. Alvar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Emberumanar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Jiyar Tirumozhi Sharanam, Jiyar Tirumozhi Sharanam. பல்லாண்டு பல்லாண்டு பல்லாயிரத்தாண்டு பல கோடி நூறாயிரம் மல்லாண்டு தின்றோள் மணிவண்ணா உன் சேவடி செவிதிரு காப்பு அடியோமோடும் நோடும் பிரிவினி ஆயிரம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவாயினின் வளமார்பினில் வாழ்கின்ற மங்கையம் பல்லாண்டு வடிவார் சோதி வளத்துறையும் சுடர் ஆழியும் பல்லாண்டு படை போர் புக்கு முழங்கும் அப்பாஞ்ச சன்னியமும் பல்லாண்டே. There is one question. We will go through the question and answer for that. The question is, why did Sri Rama worship Lord Shiva? That is the question here. While Sri Rama himself is Supreme Lord, why should he worship other Devata who is Rudra? The answer for this is, it is in twofold. First, it is not the way as projected by people in the world nowadays that Rama built one Shivalingam in Rameshwaram and he worshipped Shiva there. Certainly that is not the case, because there is no supporting evidence for that in Valmiki Ramayana. In Valmiki Ramayana, it is very clear that Sri Rama got on to the Pushpaka Vimanam after the battle was over, after Ravana was killed and after Vibhishana was coronated. Rama climbs the Pushpaka Vimana along with everyone there, and he immediately flies out from there and goes directly to Bharadwaja Rishi Ashramam near Sri Ayodhya. So there is no specific reference of Rama worshipping Shiva here, and also the Ikshvaku Shwakuk dynasty's Kula Devam is Sriman Narayana only, because that is the Narayana deity, the Kula Devam, along with the Pranavakara Vimanam and Namberumal, Sri Ranganatha, and all of that was given to Vibhishana Alvan as a gift while Vibhishana returned to Lanka. So it is very clear that Sri Rama's Kuladevam is also Narayana only. So there is no scope of Rama worshipping Shiva in this context. But even if Bhagavan in his incarnation worships another Devata, that doesn't mean that Sri Vaishnavas should worship other Devatas, because as a human being or as a uh, role fitting that particular incarnation, Bhagavan may worship other Devatas. Like in Krishna Avatar, he goes to Kailasha to pray for progeny. But already Rudra is the grandson of Krishna. That is what people, our acharyas would say. It is a very humorous thing that Krishna, who is the grandfather of Rudra, he goes to Rudra and prays for progeny. But Rudra's father is Brahma. Brahma is born from Vishnu, and Vishnu is Krishna only. So it is like a grandfather asking grandson for boon to give birth to a child. It is not very sound logic, but it is done as a leela. So as a leela, Bhagavan may worship other devatas also. But that doesn't mean that Sri Vaishnavas who are completely surrendered to Bhagavan, totally surrendered to Bhagavan, would go and worship other devatas. So that is the answer for this question. With this, we will stop today and we will resume in the next session.